Hi everyone, my name is Amarnath, and I believe today you guys are able to enjoy and learn a lot of new things with this series of session, which is Work from Home 2021. Today I'm going to focus the security angle in Windows, okay? And from most of last 2 decades, more than 2 decades, we know Windows operating system, how it has been developed and how we are able to use for our day-to-day activities, right? It is not very much new, but only the focus thing what I wanted to highlight is the Windows 11, which is just coming to live as a general availability in this month. What are the minimum hardware requirements Windows 11 demands? Okay, so the basic requirements, especially on a hardware side of it, is the requirement for the Windows 11 RAM is minimum of 4 GB, and the storage should be minimum of 64 GB, and on the software layer of it, which is the firmware, we call it as a UEFI, which is United Extensible Firmware Interface, okay, which is very much mandated, okay, for enabling or installing Windows 11. And on the security side of it, on the hardware component level, by default, every PC should have a minimum TPM 2.0, and all TPM configurations must comply with the local laws and regulations of uh, the location or the countries. Okay, if some PC is using a firmware based component level of TPM capabilities, it also must implement minimum of a version 2.0. Okay, and by default, each and every PC, when it is supposed to be get upgraded, when it is expecting an upgradation to Windows 11, it needs to have mandatorily or by default enabled of a UEFI security boot. Okay, this is a basic requirement before we start trying to upgrade our PC, because Microsoft has released a PC health checker to understand the eligibility. If these two components are not activated or not enabled in your existing PC, it will show that your PC is not eligible for getting upgraded. Okay, and when Windows 11 came in, Microsoft said that this is the most secured OS, especially for the present hybrid world. How an individual is working from home and they are connecting to multiple apps or services, right? Beat the antivirus, beat an anti-malware, beat the encryption, beat the hardware isolation, or securing the login passwords with multiple errors, or if we need to ensure the multiple multi-factor authentications to be enabled on the PC, or an individual who is trying to connect or access to the multiple apps by connecting to the cloud, everything is secured. That is how Windows 11 has been derived on the announcement. Okay, how is it possible? Because of some linkage between or the best combination between a right hardware configuration and the software built in for managing the present cyber threats. Okay, one of a one of a mandatory component which I earlier said also is a TPM. TPM is the full form for the TPM is a trusted platform module. This is a technology which is designed to provide a hardware-based security-related functions. Okay, this chip is a secure crypto processor that is designed to carry out the cryptographic operations. Basically, earlier, if you remember, TPM we used to use, especially in the commercial world, for enabling a BitLocker. If we need to encrypt the storage on the PC, by default TPM was mandatory. Okay, the second important component in the present the way which Microsoft has mandated for Windows 11 is a secure boot. Secure boot is basically a security standard developed by the members of a PC industry to help and make sure that the device booting only software that is by OEM. When the PC starts, the firmware checks the signature of each PC, each piece of booting software, including UEFI firmware drivers, including EFI applications, and the operating system changes. Basically, it ensures any malware threats entered into the PC before it allows you for a login. The third important thing is virtualization based security. Virtualization based security uses a hardware virtualization features to create and isolate a secure region of a memory from normal operating system. Windows can use virtual secure mode to host number of security solutions, providing them with a greatly increased protection from vulnerabilities in the operating system. So let me showcase a few simple features which is part of your day-to-day Windows and how you can able to secure browsing and what exactly the security is built in Windows. Okay. So this is the first experience or a first view you can see once you install Windows 11. Basically, it's a bit elegant background, which is a light finish. And secondly, Microsoft has focused that the colors and the contrasting matching can be reduced for an individual user because mostly what they have observed is almost 27% of individual time is spending more on a PCs after the pandemic impact. Okay, now let's come back to the topic on a Windows security. So basically, once I need to just go for a Windows security, I need to just click on a start button, which is in the center. Okay, so what I'm just doing is once I click on a start button, I'm just searching for a security, which is a Windows security, which has been there for a while. Okay, when I open Windows security, I can see the entire security in a simple glance. Okay, it starts from the antivirus and anti-malware. Okay, and it has a protection for individual identity. It has a protection for a network and firewall. It has a protection for applications, browser controls, and it has a protection for a device security, and few more options. Right. So first thing I would like to speak is device security, right? So as I earlier mentioned, by default, when I click on a device security, it shows that my core isolation, which is VBS, virtualization based security, is enabled. That's where this tick mark you can able to observe. The second is a TPM, which is a mandatory and which is also enabled in the earlier itself before I installed on Windows 11. And the third one is secure boot. So you can see here these three components are mandatory for ensuring your PC is properly secured. Okay. And the next important thing I wanted to showcase is with the present cyber threats, what we are able to see, majorly it happens through the browser, which is getting into, which is giving a scope or which has to be more secured comparing to earlier, right? So how do we secure that also into a next level? Okay. For example, if I go to application and browser control, especially with the option Microsoft Defender Application Guard, okay, it is basically designed to help and prevent old and newly emerged attacks to help all the individuals to be more productive using a unique hardware isolation approach. So basically, the goal is to destroy the playbook that attackers making current attack with the methods of absolute. Okay, how did how do I enable this Microsoft Defender Application Guard? Basically, it is so Microsoft Defender Application Guard can be enabled from our programs and features, which is basically a part of our control panel. So when I open control panel, when I go to programs and features, this is by default a Windows feature. So as of now, for the quick demo I have installed already, this is where you can see Microsoft Defender Application Guard, right? So when I open my security for making sure the next level of security is enabled and automatically isolated from the browsing environment. So I have installed that already. So let's go back to the Edge browser experience and show you where it can be showcased separately. One is the browser. We have a normal mode and we have an option for a private window. And the next option now you can able to see is new application guard window. So when I click on it, it will be open separately and it will have a separate background scanning. Okay, so this is something very important for you, which can be helpful. And Defender Application Guard is just not limited for a browser. It actually isolates the kernel between a Windows and the application or a browsing services what we are doing, right? It is applicable for even a office, even it can be it is applicable for an entire Windows, and it is applicable for the Edge browsing as well. As of now, I'm just showing the Edge browsing option where once I activate how it looks like. Okay, so the next few more options I would like to showcase in the Edge browser, especially on a security angle, is when I go to settings on my Edge browser, just like clicking on three dots. Okay, so the first screen it showcases my profile, where my email account has been logged in and created. And the second left side table list I can see is tracking the preventions. Okay, so by default, my Edge browser is running on a balanced mode, where I can block the trackers if I haven't used or visited to that specific site, and it blocks my harmful trackings if anything. By default, it has been added, right? Few more things when I scroll down, you can able to see is one thing is most of things when we are in a workloads, we don't consider to cross check that what are we trying to download is a secure or not, right? In that case, by just enabling the smart screen, which is by default would be enabled, if not, you can go and enable this from your web browser or a Edge browser. It helps you to protect from the malicious sites, or when we download something, it will not allow to run or open until it scans on the backend. So this is one of our best thing which we can able to choose and understand the security on our Edge browsing. And the third important thing I wanted to showcase, which is not very much new, but which will be helpful present with the present lifestyle what we are living, right? If we are sharing our PC after our office hours or our work hours, right, to an other individual in our family, right? In that case, we can just start enabling the browser settings for the family safety. Okay, because earlier it used to be for a full PC. Yes, that is also possible. That is also available. If you go back to security, you have an option for a family options where we can able to enable certain things for tracking and ensuring the content filtering and the limitations properly given for that specific individual in the family. The same way for a browsing also, they have kept some more options. And second thing, if someone is trying to use the PC with their login, and they once they go back to their device, right, by default the tracking of the recent used websites and other stuff can be properly linked. That is where easily all the browsing things whatever we are using that email id can be continued into the other devices, like different tablets, laptops with the same login what we are using, including Android with if we are using a Edge browser. These are a few things I wanted to showcase in today's demo. Yes, I'm also excited, like you all guys, especially for Windows 11 to have a full version in my PC too. Well, the general availability happens soon and next by this month, and that's what we are reading and we are figuring out. And a small request is we as a individuals, as a responsible individuals for our data and content, we need to understand that a lot of operating systems have been end of support already, like a Windows 7, or when it comes to a server editions like Server 2008 and 8R2. And soon, especially in the server edition, we know that 2012 R2 will be end of support within a year or a two, right? So what is the important thing which we need to be aware with the end of support is, if our operating system is not secure, obviously our infrastructure is not secure. If our infrastructure is not secure, our data is not secure, right? So that is where Microsoft releases every month multiple patches, multiple security threat updates, and they notifies nowadays with all the mediums to ensure that individual PC and the server is properly secure. Okay, with this I thank you all for joining this session. Thank you very much.